they're great. Like, how could you not be excited about this?
It's just so good, like I can't stop.
Look how badass they are. That's sick.
Wow, they're really good at dancing.
I love it.
They're the first Korean act to reach #1 on the Billboard charts, and they just became the first group since the Beatles to earn 3 #1 albums in less than a year.
The choreography, it's just like, they're so talented.
I wish American pop could be like this happy and make you feel this good.
I wonder how K-pop got so popular.
Especially with the language barrier, so this is in Korean.
Wait. Let's just go back to how it started. Hey, Michaela, are we recording?
Yo, hold up! My apple went under the fridge! I'm trying to warm up.
The start of the Odyssey began in 1885 when an American missionary, Henry Appenzeller, taught schools Changa, which were American and British folk songs translated to Korean. Changa was their way of expressing their hopes of restoring the country's sovereignty and their feelings against Japanese oppression, further into the period of World War II.
During the war, Japan's overthrow was devastating to Koreans. They were forced to change their names and learn Japanese, primarily erasing the Korean culture. Many years later, after all the blood, sweat, and tears, the Japanese were defeated in 1945.
After the Korean War taking place in the 1950s, American pop music was introduced to Koreans as U.S. troops stationed in South Korea. Famous artists like Nat King Cole and Marilyn Monroe held shows in South Korea for the U.S. Army. These performances provide an opportunity for Korean artists to gain exposure to Western pop music. For example, R&B, country, and rock and roll.
Later, during the 1950s and throughout the 60s, Korean artists like the Kim Sisters flew overseas to perform in the U.S., performing in Las Vegas and on The Ed Sullivan Show, resulting in the Kim Sisters becoming the first South Korean music group to achieve success in the U.S. market.
Not only showcasing their talent helped the sisters become successful, but in 1962, their cover of the Closer song, Charlie Brown, reached #7 on the Billboard singles charts. However, in the following year, the new elected president of South Korea, Park Chung-hee, made that all disappear.
During Park Chung-hee's presidency, he helped with the economic growth of South Korea. However, he had concerns of the sudden shift that affected Korea's culture. Park Chung-hee dealt with things harshly, so in a way it was not surprising that he had banned hundreds of songs that were westernized. He believed they were a bad influence, so he created his own music to show what healthy music sounds like.
Unfortunately, in 1979, he was assassinated by his lifelong friend Kim Jae-kyo. Even after his death, the music industry was still under censorship until 1990s when So Taiji and Boys was formed.
Before So Taiji and Boys debuted, Lee Soo-man founded SM Entertainment, which later became one of the biggest companies in South Korea. So Taiji and Boys was a group of 3 members, Lee Jano, Young Hyun-suk, and of course So Taiji. They introduced a new version of music to the country. So Taiji and Boys shifted the focus from Korean ballads to teen-centered pop music. In addition, they had paved the way for new boy and girl groups in that period.
A couple years later, in 1996, SM Entertainment created a boy group called HOT, also known as High Five of Teenagers. After SM Entertainment, Park Jin-young followed Lee Soo-man's footsteps in creating JYP Entertainment in 1997. In 1998, Young Hyun-suk founded YG Entertainment and was also a former member of So Taiji and Boys. SM, JYP, and YG Entertainment is known as the Big Three in South Korea because of how big and popular they are.
Out of the Big Three, SM Entertainment debuted a successful K-pop group in 2003, also known as TVXQ. TVXQ increased the awareness for K-pop. Soon, many more K-pop groups came to debut, such as Super Junior and Big Bang, which debuted in 2005. Kara, SNSD, and 21 debuted in 2007. These groups further increased the popularity of K-pop, mostly in other Asian countries. K-pop was exposed to America in 2012 when solo artist Psy uploaded Gangnam Style. K-pop became wildly known because of Psy, whose music video was the first to reach 1 billion views on YouTube. In 2017, ARMY, BTS's fanbase, nominated them for Top Social Artists in the Billboard Music Awards. BTS won in a landslide against Justin Bieber, Selena Gomez, Ariana Grande, and Shawn Mendes. After that, K-pop was even more exposed to America than it already was. BTS was nominated again for Top Social Artists in 2018 through 2019, winning again.
What do you think was so record-breaking about K-pop?
There's a number of things, and I think it's a package deal. Okay, so people refer to K-pop, and a lot of times they don't realize that there are a number of different genres within K-pop. There's rap within K-pop. There's bubblegum within K-pop. And so there's kind of something for everyone. They also blend the different, okay? You have something that is normally considered pop, but you'll have rap embedded in it. And so it draws a number of different followers.
I think the difference between American and Korean music videos is that, like what I said in the last question, K-pop artists don't just, they really go out of the way to break trends and make new ones. Even though the concept might be weird, they make it work.
BTS stands out because their songs are a little bit more about building your self-esteem and being good to yourself, versus other groups. Other songs are like love songs and broken hearts and all that. But BTS, they do, like love yourself, things like that. More about being good to yourself.
In 2018, BTS was invited to speak at the UN and bring forth the Love Myself campaign, which was a campaign to end violence against kids and young people.
I'd like to ask all of you, what is your name? What excites you and makes your heart beat? Tell me your story. I want to hear your voice. I want to hear your conviction. No matter who you are, where you're from, your skin color, your gender identity, just speak yourself. Find your name and find your voice by speaking yourself.
American artists such as Halsey, Nicki Minaj, Designer, and many more started to collaborate with K-pop idols and groups, gaining new fans to both the American artists and Korean artists. BTS progressed more in their music career and even became one of the most influential people of 2018 through 2019 on Times Magazine.
Psy may have opened the door to America, but he never took a step. While a couple years later, BTS broke down the door, or shall we say, the barrier. In conclusion, K-pop may have had a rough start from being banned to going through the hard trials of being in war. But look at how far it has brought them. Barely mentioning what the artists go through behind the scenes. South Korea has evolved their standards of music and what people they look up to. From the Kim sisters to BTS, Korea's economy has improved over the years, from K-pop idols donating and making charities, as well as supporting hospitals.
You can definitely say that K-pop has broken one of the biggest barriers in the world, bringing people together with music with no language barrier affecting the way the music affects the people.
And what Kai from EXO said,
even though the language is different,
the music is the same.
Great job, Tia. I think you broke it.
You broke my phone? You mean broke the barrier?
That's it.